If you want to create successful advertising on Facebook, it's really important to get to know your audience. One powerful tool for doing this is the Facebook Audience Insight, which is found within Facebook Business for your particular page. So let me show you a little bit how it works and how you can go ahead and create audiences. And from there, you can start building advertising that will be able to target the right audience. So let's take a look at Facebook Business Insights. So here I have brought up my Facebook business profile, and right now I'm running one ad. But what we want to do is look at the insights, and you can find that up in the menu at the top left corner. Select it and go to All Tools. And under the planning, or the plan section, you can find Audience Insights. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And right away, it's going to ask you, who really are you targeting? So are you targeting everyone on Facebook or just the people connected to your page? I recommend that you go to everyone on Facebook, at least for this exercise. You can certainly drill into the people who are connected to your page, but I'm going to go with everyone on Facebook. And you can, first of all, adjust the locations. But before we get into that, let me just kind of give you a tour. So right now it's telling me that there is an audience of 150 million to 200 million people. That is wide open to everybody on Facebook. And under there, we have these 4 items that give you an idea what that audience is interested in, what demographic information that you can find, for example. So here is age and gender. That, as you can see from women, that there are more men who are between 25 and 34 than there are women, for example. And, gives you an idea of that insight. You also get an idea of what the relationship are. So over half are married. And we have some folks that are planning to be engaged. Some are in a relationship. Significant number have completed college or are in college. And then there's also job titles, different careers that they are involved in. What else do we know about them? This shows what their page likes are. So their favorite furniture is from IKEA. Food and beverage, Coca-Cola. I'm a fan of Coca-Cola. So that gives me an idea of this audience. And what, dealing with the page likes, Budweiser, that's a huge crowd. So these things may help influence what you are thinking when you design your advertising. Location, where individuals happen to be. And activities, that when they get on a site, there's a lot of page likes and ad clicks. What devices that they use, so mobile only, right? That there's a lot of folks that are doing mobile. So this would be important when you create your ad, that you may create just a mobile advertising, because that will get to more people, and what devices that it happens to show up on. All right, so let's start messing with this. So what I would want to do when I start working with this is I'm thinking of kind of designing around certain keywords. I'm trying to dial into the right audiences. And what I would actually do is create multiple audiences on around one small item, and then start doing comparison in a campaign. That I put the same advertising in front of those different audiences and see how successful those campaigns are. So I don't want to combine them. I don't want to select multiple things because I don't know what's going to be working. I want to work with one variable at a time. So I want to create one audience at a time. So right now I'm looking at I'm going to look at the United States. And if I wanted to, if I was only working in a small region, I could select that region. So for example, I'm going to use Jamestown, New York. If I'd spell it right. Jamestown, New York. Oh, cancel. Jamestown, New York. Okay. And as you can see already, I'm down to 25,000 to 30,000 people. I can add surrounding areas. So I'm going to add Erie, Pennsylvania, and I'm also going to put Buffalo, New York. All right, that gives me a bigger audience to initially start working with. And I can see that, it starts affecting the information on the demographics. It's okay, anyone 18 and older, men and women, doesn't matter. So I'm working with that. So I'm working with this recording studio. And if I wanted to find an audience for that recording studio, some of the things that I may look in is, for example, entertainment, specifically music. And I could select specific music that I want to work in. Or I could go down to hobbies and activities and arts and music. So we're going to go with that. And for example, I can select guitar. So maybe I'm looking for guitarists who would be interested in doing some recording. So that is just one audience. That's all I want is I want to restrict it to those areas, right? Because I'm building it around my area. So that's all I really want. I don't want the whole United States. I'm going to keep it around my area. That's all I'm interested in. But I'm looking for somebody who plays guitar. So I would go ahead and save that particular audience and call them guitarists, right? For Jamestown, right? And I would save that particular audience. All right, so I have 30,000 to 35,000 in this particular area that are dealing with guitars. And now I can start looking at this information and seeing where I may want to create an ad. Maybe I'm looking at putting an advertisement in this 25 to 34-year-old range. So I would probably want to find imagery that is shaped around that demographic. And it's pretty equally split between men and women. So I can pick men and women who are guitarists. That would help. And then, looking at this, where they're, college level, some of my, the language I use may be important to them. The industries that they work in may help educate me as far as language that I want to use. Page likes. Here is a whole different group information that's useful. So musical information, right? The world of music store. So I would definitely write this down because I may want to put advertising around these specific places of people that frequent those places or check into that information in order to get the right audiences. And once again, this is an experiment. I'm going to look at different audiences, build different audiences around those different aspects. Definitely places You know, the Gypsy Parlor, I'm not familiar with it. The World of Music, definitely, you know, the number of people that are in there, I can build even small audiences and target those based on those locations or based on those likes. Where a great majority of our folks are coming from and activities. So once again, mobile only, right? Not very many on desktop. So I would probably put my advertising on mobile when I'm targeting this particular group. But once again, I can experiment with it. So I can replicate this audience for when I build my campaign, and I can target mobile versus desktop and see how it fleshes out. If desktop is not working, I throw it out, and then I can focus solely on mobile, okay, as I ramp up or scale up. So this is how you can use that information. So let's go back, and I'm going to nix that guitar. And one of the interests is Guitar World, which happens to be a magazine. And that really reduces the number of people. So Buffalo, Jamestown, Erie, that area, only 2,000 to 2,500 people are dialed into that. And but interesting that you know, where it sits with women. You know, that's a small percentage of them, but a significant number, half of the women that showed up are in the 45 to 54-year-old range. So that's interesting. It's too small to give me information on specific information there. But also, you know, here we're looking at these different places, and this may help with advertising, that I can target these different people. Once you find some targets that are working for you, once you find some audiences that you've saved and you've run advertising against it and you've eliminated the ones you don't want, then you can start combining these and then scale them if you want. Or you can further test them by changing your creative and your copy to make it work for you. So these are different ways that you can go ahead and start identifying audiences, but don't change a lot of variables at one time because you don't know what's going to work. So just focus on one variable at a time. Well, that's it on Facebook Insights. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more information on how you could use that to build some audiences in order to go ahead and get the right ads out to the right people. I would, in this case, I would go look at singers. I would go look at the drummers to it, and just kind of look at different ways that you can look at this audience. So you're going to have to do some keyword research and try to figure out which words work, what are inside the insights that you're going to be able to use. Hopefully this was useful. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up down there. I'd really appreciate it. Leave some comments and share it with a friend. Anyways, thanks for joining me.